Hello and welcome to House News. Russia's attack on Ukraine has shaken the world economy, undeniably affecting Indonesia as well. Mainly related to the supply of wheat because Ukraine has close trade relation with Indonesia, even though the country is non-traditional trading partner. Indonesia is one of the main importers of wheat in the world. President Joko Widodo has instructed to stop the export of raw bauxite materials because currently 56 to 58% of Indonesia's economy is based on the consumption sector. Therefore, the president will carry out reforms by turning it into production and downstreaming the industry. Bilateral relations between Indonesia and South Korea in various fields such as investment and trade, energy and mineral resource, and e-commerce are getting bigger. Now, Vice Speaker for Industry and Development of the House, Rahmat Gobel, also supports for the development of cooperation in agriculture or food sector. According to the Minister of Health, Budi Gunadisadikin, limited funding is a main problem for countries in the world to face pandemic like in the beginning of COVID-19. But funding is not the only problem. Another problem is unbalanced access to health facilities. For that, the House supports the statement of the Minister of Finance, Sri Mulyani, at the G20 presidency to invite world leaders in establishing a global health fund to anticipate future pandemics. Coronavirus infection never sees age. Elderly, adults, and even children can get this disease. The risk of severity in children is also the same with adults, especially if the children has comorbidities. Children with comorbidities have a 14% higher risk of developing severe infection following exposure to COVID-19 virus. Quoted from data released by the Central Statistic Agency or BPS, Ukraine ranked the first in the origin of wheat imported by Indonesia. The volume has also increased from year to year. The impact of the war will also increase inflation and logistic costs, which will be much more expensive. Basic needs will also increase and people's purchasing power will be lower.
During 2020, Indonesia's wheat import from Ukraine reached 2.96 million tons. Apart from wheat, Indonesia is also very dependent on several commodities from the former Soviet state. Another fairly large imported product from Ukraine is steel. Center of Economic and Law Studies Director or CELIUS, Bima Yudhistira says the government needed to anticipate changes by aiding additional National Economic Recovery or PEN funds, which should be allocated for food and energy price stability. The Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry highlighted the impact of the Russia-Ukraine geopolitical conflict on business continuity and the Indonesian economy. Deputy Chairperson of Indonesian Chamber of Commerce for International Relations Sinta Kamdani says both Russia and Ukraine could be called non-traditional trading and investment partners for Indonesian business. In recent years, Indonesia has tried to conclude a number of trade agreements with Russia as part of market diversification, although these efforts have not yet been completed.
In the beginning of 2022, President Joko Widodo states that Indonesia will stop exporting raw bauxite materials to support the nation bauxite downstreaming to increase its value. Therefore, Commission 7 of the House demands more smelters availability to process the bauxite and produce nation's own aluminum.
Speaking at Nusantara 1 building of the House, Chairperson of Commission 7 of the House, Sugeng Suparwoto, supports the plan to stop the raw bauxite export to press our import on aluminum and alumina. With the abundant amount of domestic bauxite, Indonesia should not need to importing aluminum. Therefore, the government are demanded to have local aluminum industry to produce our own aluminum.
Secara simultan, sekali lagi simultan, nanti mungkin per kuota saja pertama yang sebelum sampai di stop. Mungkin dengan syarat-syarat tertentu masih boleh ekspor. Tetapi kita akan mengarah kepada itu tadi, pengolahan sumber daya alam kita olah bahkan sampai tingkatnya tidak sekedar hilirisasi tapi adalah industrialisasi.
According to the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, Indonesia only has 2 bauxite smelters facility. Therefore, member of Commission 7 Lamhot Sinaga demands to add more smelters facilities and demands the state-owned mining holding company Mine ID, along with other sub-holding company, to immediately prepare the bauxite processing industry. Considering that the government are offering some incentive for the corporate who could establish the bauxite smelters.
Yang diberikan pemerintah itu kan terhadap perusahaan itu kan sudah ada berupa tax holiday, proses perizinan yang mudah dan lain sebagainya. Itu kan pemerintah sudah banyak memberikan insentif. Tinggal bagaimana kita dorong mereka masuk.
Vinita and Shamsul, TVR Parlemen, report. The meetings between Vice Speaker for Industry and Development Rahmat Gobel and Deputy Minister of Trade, Industry and Energy of South Korea Yoon Jung-chun and South Korea Ambassador Tae-sung Park discussed about the plan to build some cooperation investment on food sector. After the meeting with the Minister of Trade of South Korea, Rahmat Gobel states the meeting is discussing about bilateral cooperations that have been done between Indonesia and South Korea to increase South Korea investment and other economic sectors. However, South Korea wants to improve the cooperation on food sectors, considering that our cooperation on food sector are still on smaller scale. Rahmat Gobel adds, with the technology and ability from South Korea, we could improve our local food production to get to the global market.
Jadi saya menyarankan, saya juga berharap tidak hanya investasi kerjasama dengan Korea ini tidak hanya pada sektor padat modal, padat teknologi dan juga jangka panjang, tetapi bagaimana juga bisa mengembang kerjasama di sektor pertanian atau pangan. Karena apa? Karena pangan ini banyak menyerap lapangan kerja para petani kita dan sehingga dengan teknologi yang dimilikinya dan kita bisa meningkatkan hasil pangan kita sendiri untuk bisa mengisi kebutuhan pangan dunia.
Previously, on 2020, Indonesia and South Korea are already have an agreement on Indonesia-Korea Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, or IKSEPA, related to the trade of goods, services, investments, economical cooperation, and institutional regulations. Fitian and Tegar, TVR Parlemen, report.
Through the G20 presidency, the Minister of Finance, Sri Mulyani, suggests to establish the global health budget to handle possible future pandemic cases. As one of the three priorities is to strengthen the global health architecture. The member of Commission 11 of the House, Charles Mekiansah, supports the suggestion to formulate this global health budget.
Speaking at Nusantara 1 building of the House, Charles Mekiansah states, we need to anticipate COVID-19 pandemic together, especially in helping the developing and poor countries. Charles says the global health budget have a similar system as the global monetary budget. However, it only should be used for helping countries that having a health crisis.
Dan pendanaan khususnya buat negara-negara dunia ketiga dan negara-negara berkembang, ini bukan persoalan yang mudah dan bisa jadi menjadi persoalan yang sangat serius. Sehingga